My friends, welcome. Well, suddenly even the President of the United States is talking about looming food shortages.
With regard to food shortages, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real. The price of these sanctions is not just imposed upon Russia. It's imposed upon an awful lot of countries as well, including European countries and our country as well.
Yep, and it's not just Biden. His climate czar, John Kerry, is also talking about how the food production capacity for hundreds of millions of people is about to collapse.
We're already seeing climate refugees around the world. If you think migration has been a problem in Europe from the Syrian war, or even from what we see now, where do you see 100 million people for whom the entire food production capacity has collapsed?
Almost like it's part of the script. Of course it was. Remember the food chain reaction game. Why are they announcing this now? And moreover, what effect do you think it will have when the President of the United States stands up and says, we're running out of food? Naturally, some number of people are going to rush to the store and frantically try and get whatever they can. Now, this is not prepping. In fact, it's the opposite of prepping. It means they didn't prepare, and now they're freaking out and they're panic buying, which gives retailers the perfect cover story, the perfect excuse for why they will need to institute purchase limits, and ultimately food rationing. Food rationing, which, as I'll detail, according to a response to a FOIA request I put into the EU, will be tied to big data systems, meaning it's going to be a digital ID that allows you to buy food. They need perfect data so that they can track this food crisis, is what they told me. And that means that it won't just be you only get 2 chickens every time you go to the store. It will mean, where's your food passport? The vaccine passport, people didn't really go for it as much as we wanted, but now that we're out of food, everyone is going to be on board with this food passport because you're going to need it to go to the grocery store. That's what they mean when they say big data is our answer to the looming food crisis. Why are they announcing this now? Well, they really had no option, right? As I've been covering, we're at the leap-off point for the food scarcity agenda going forward. You even have farmers in Germany warning that we only have a few weeks of eggs left, according to epochtimes.de here. German egg supply can no longer be secured from the summer, quote, from summer 2022 at the latest. The supply of eggs can no longer be guaranteed. There is an existential fear among farmers because we're no longer able to get soy from Ukraine, and so we're running out of animal feed. And if you can't feed your chickens, we're not going to get eggs. So you see how this is very quickly spiraling out of control. And of course, as nations shut down their exports and try and cling to whatever food they have, it's not just the German Poultry Association that's running out of animal feed. That is merely an exemplar of the complete collapse of modern agriculture as we've known it, and as is currently feeding the vast majority of people on this planet. So I want to talk today about a couple of the latest attacks on that agricultural system, including these forever chemicals, PFAS, which there's suddenly a huge amount of media coverage about. They are shutting down farms across many states because these farms made the terrible mistake of applying biosludge, sewage, from municipalities onto their farms, and they called it organic at the time. It's just a terrible lie that was perpetrated to these organic farmers who, I'm sorry to say, put biosludge on their crops, and sure enough, it's contaminated with these PFAS, which are causing cancer and all sorts of things. So now, suddenly, out of nowhere, they are realizing this, running around, shutting down farms, and that's a further blow to the food system. And also bird flu, which is being detected across the nation. And before I even get into that, let me just say, even here at the outset, that the way this is happening is using PCR tests. So the government is running around giving PCR tests to birds, ginning up these false positives wherever they want, not just in industrial agriculture, but in people's backyard flocks, and then saying, oh, sorry, you've got bird flu here. We have to kill your chickens, and we have to kill chickens for miles around, using those PCR tests to shut down people's backyard flocks. In fact, this is not just in the US. Of course, it's been happening in the EU as well, where it's being described as the worst epidemic ever of its kind to hit Europe. We just can't seem to contain the bird flu epidemic. Try as we might, the PCR tests just keep coming back positive, so we just have to kill a few million more birds. It's complete insanity, and this is the latest weaponization of germ theory to take out our food supply. So I want to talk about that as well, and including a FOIA response I got from the UK government about how they're gassing chickens because, hey, just following orders. That's what our guidelines say to do when there's a bird flu PCR test that comes back positive. In fact, that's why there's no more free-range birds in the UK, because the government forced people to move them all inside. So the attacks are off the charts on the food production right now. It's not Putin and climate change. As this channel has documented for years now, this has been a calculated, systematic attack on farming and ranching and all methods of food production, and telling you that animals are dirty and dangerous and we can't possibly continue animal agriculture. That's why the World Economic Forum wants a post-animal economy. And even that gardens are dangerous, that you shouldn't be able to save seeds. We just saw yesterday Montana's Department of Agriculture say, be careful when you plant seeds. Don't use seeds from your garden or from other people. Make sure to only use licensed dealers and nurseries. Only if you buy it from Monsanto is it safe. Right? You can't save seeds. So they are attacking on all fronts right now. And I will then end this video stepping way back and saying everything we're seeing and all of the pain that this collapse in food production is about to cause may actually be a good thing, to the extent that it is exactly what is needed to wake people up, right? Bread in circuses is how you keep the masses asleep, and they're taking away the bread. So this is our opportunity, just you and me, the 300,000 people subscribed to this channel, and the 100,000 on Telegram at t.me/iceagefarmer. I just crossed both of those milestones yesterday. Thank you for helping grow this channel. You guys give me hope, because if there are hundreds of thousands of people having this conversation, knowing what's going on, that these are deliberate attacks perpetrated on our ability as humans to cultivate our own food, then we can put a stop to this.